Welcome back to the 26th Annual Austin Film Festival. We're here with writer, producer, actress. She's done everything basically on film, Guinevere Turner. We got to meet with Rose at Aglyph a couple months back, and we were going over Go Fish.
So she's already said everything I could say.
I don't think so, though.
You should see the two of us together being interviewed about this movie. Is
it a battle? Like a fun battle
It's
between
just
you?
us making fun of each other, yeah.
As far as, because I feel like that's what that film is girls making fun of each other. Is that where the impetus started from? I mean, tell me about the full origins of Go Fish from your perspective.
From my perspective, it's just that we just wanted to see ourselves on screen and we didn't. And Rose had just graduated from film school, and I fancied myself a writer, although I'd never written a screenplay. And we just thought, let's see if we can make a movie that, represents lesbians not as fainting couch, am I or am I not gay, but as, just regular people in the way we were experiencing it, which is our community, our jobs, our dumb girlfriends, our regular people lives.
Was the real conversations refreshing, or was it a little bit scary that you were being that open?
For us, it was refreshing. It felt imperative to do that, to sort of make it just normalize it and get a chance to be funny, for one, and to be sexy, and we kind of didn't realize that we were going to end up at the Sundance Film Festival and travel the world with this film. We were sort of making it for ourselves and our community, kind of not realizing how big it would get. And we were pleasantly surprised, but we were definitely like, what's happening? In a great way.
Did that whirlwind experience change you as a writer, or do you think your writing can always go back to that original ideas that you had in the beginning?
Well, it changed me as a writer in the sense that I realized, I have no business writing a screenplay. I have no idea how to do this. Because at the time, Rose was like, "You think you can write a screenplay?" And I was like, "Yeah. I mean, how hard can it be? People walk into a room and they say stuff and they walk out." And it's a little bit of a talky movie. Good thing there's sex scenes and Rose's experimental film background. A lot of visuals that sort of make it not just a blah 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 film.
As far as writer, actress, same person, different person? Do you change when you dive into a role where you're as an actress? Are you different when you're writing a story? I mean, or is it the same person?
Well, when I wrote Go Fish, I was writing myself. The character I knew I was going to play is something I knew I could play, because I'm also not a trained actress. So, I'm like, she can't be too far from me, because I don't want to be out of my depth. But, as I've evolved 25 years later, I'm definitely my writing is definitely informed by my experience as an actor, which is to say that I'm always thinking about, is there a woman or an actor in general who will want to play this? And if, is this so one-dimensional that no actor's going to be excited? So that informs me a lot. And then as an actor, when it's not my script and I'm working, I often say, "Can I change this?" And they often say yes. Because if I think the dialogue could be better, or if I have something that could, get into it more, be funnier, or be fewer words with more acting. Now they're just it's kind of all fluid.
Cool. Yeah. I've got to ask, y'all created something special with what you did on the L Word. Seeing it now being redone, is it sort of like, why are you ruining what we did? Or is it like, I guess they can embrace something new? I mean, what are your feelings on someone taking something you've done and recreating? Like, if they recreated Go Fish today, would you feel
like they owed me money?
Well, that part of it too? Yeah, definitely.
No, with the L Word, I'm with my blessing, I hope that it's good, and I'm happy that it gets, there gets to be a new generation. I sort of, in the way that I think a lot of people feel about reboots in general, I would love if there was a little more room for other kinds of lesbians, but there seems to be a little bit of panic around, well, that worked, so we got to stay with that. That said, I don't know much about what they're doing, and I didn't know a lot of great people are on it, and I'm curious to see it. I just want more. I want lesbians on a cruise ship. I want lesbians on the Arctic. I want, you know what I mean? I want more than just the L Word is, you know, groundbreaking for its time, but I feel like we can do more.
Do you feel like with each groundbreaking moment it stalls? Like, I think Orange is the New Black came out, and everyone's like, oh, great, and then it stalled again. Like, do you feel there is that lack of push through, maybe not in the community, but the people's reaction to the community being a voice?
I do feel like that when something is successful that wasn't necessarily going to be successful, and it's, you know, a marginalized population, there's an anxiety like we can't stray too far. But it's all baby steps. I mean, when I think back to when we made Go Fish, it's leaps and bounds from what it was, you know, in terms of, you know, what as a young lesbian or, you know, any LGBTQ person had to see of themselves on a screen, big or small. So it's huge progress. I never want to be the older, grumbly person in the community. I support it all, and I see great things happening. So I'm all for it. And really interesting. There's a film coming out right now that's doing the festival circuit called Adam, which is all just, you know, non-binary, you know, just really all kinds of identities kind of dealing with each other. It's a new generation, and I just saw it recently, and I thought, now that's cool. That feels new. That feels like something I couldn't have written. It doesn't feel derivative or repetitive.
So I've got to ask then, since you guys were doing groundbreaking stuff, what were your influences as a writer before? Like what, or as an actress, or as just an artist? Like, what did you look to before when there wasn't necessarily the voice that you gave us for the next generation?
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at, you know, what I call negative inspiration, which is, you know, the movies that we saw that were the lesbian movies that were that were like a movie called Claire of the Moon, and there's like even Desert Hearts, which is, you know, it's a lesbian classic, but it didn't have community. It made lesbianism look sad, which it is. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just kidding.
The truth comes out.
But I was looking at, you know, I had sort of discovered Jim Jarmusch, you know, really looking at some of the indie films that came right before us, and Tom Kalin's Swoon and Todd Haynes' early work and stuff like that, just sort of imagining that you can make films. You know, indie films weren't quite a thing yet in 1992 when we started making Go Fish, so we were getting inspired by that.
As far as those early 90s, I feel like not only that, but like Clerks came out for another type of genre and took over a different style of comedy. Did you guys know you were groundbreaking once you'd hit that Sundance circle, once you hit that, you guys are taking it overseas? I mean, or is it still mesmerizing how it all happened?
Those two things are not mutually exclusive, in the sense that once we were actually in the public eye, and particularly when we were doing mainstream press, we were like, oh wow, people really, it's like we made a wildlife documentary. People were like, wait, what? So that's how lesbians are? And like, you know, asking us all these questions about how lesbians have sex. And at the time we couldn't say Google it, but we said the analog version of that, like go to the library, get a book, whatever. Yeah, and we met Kevin and Scott, who made Clerks, their first film, at Sundance, actually, and it was funny to watch. I mean, they really are kind of yin and yang films in terms of like deeply female-centered culture, deeply male-centered culture, but black and white, really talky, you know, scrappiest of the scrappy in terms of getting them made, shot on film. So it's funny. It's been interesting to see how our careers, what we've done with that moment, because theoretically we started from the same place.
Yeah.
Except some of us were women and some of us were men.
But both successful, luckily.
Yes, and also and Kevin created a Kevin verse that, you know, it's like that it's its own thing.
Yeah. Are you still recognized for Go Fish, or have people moved on to like the L Word or other stuff? I mean, how often does it come up?
Well, right now it's coming up a lot because it's the 25-year anniversary, so they just had a screening at New Fest in New York, and I just came from the Albuquerque LGBT Festival where they're showing it, and it's been really interesting to see a new generation respond to it, because in many ways it really doesn't age well. Just in the just we actually, Rose and I talked about doing a sequel, not a sequel, but a Go Fish 2.0, where it's the same script, but there's technology and everyone's young, and then all of us oldos could do cameos, because the concerns of it are actually feel the same. It's just that what we're wearing and the fact that our phones have cords. Our landline phones have cords.
Please say y'all in your mind already came up with the actresses you would like to cast, and would you name who that would be?
Oh God, no, we haven't. Because
I'm getting notes.
well, no, we haven't. We haven't thought about that. We haven't gotten that far because I don't know. Just because we haven't gotten that far.
So,
I should ask.
Was there
her,
ever talk of a sequel?
Oh yeah, no, we talked about it, and we thought we would make a film with all of us, the same actors, 25 years later, called Go Fuck Yourself, in which they all, like a big chill kind of thing that everybody has to come together, and everyone sort of works through their stuff having to stay in the same house for a weekend, and then we thought, most of us aren't actors. I don't know that people would necessarily want to see us all not be actors, but 25 years later, like we're not even young and hot anymore. But so we thought that it would actually, I mean, when you think about, there's a thing that we do in Go Fish where it's the four heads and they're kind of the Greek chorus. That feels like social media. That feels so translatable into now.
Yeah. As far as you're writing now, is there anything you can tell us that's coming down the pipeline, things you can share with us about what you've got coming out in the near future? That you can, obviously. Yeah. I
just had my third film with director Mary Harron just came out in May. I feel like that's still fresh. It's October. Called Charlie Says, which is available on Amazon and iTunes now. And I secretly, not so secretly, I'll just say it, maybe someone will say, yes, do that. I really do want to make a lesbian show that's about, it's like The Love Boat, but they have a cruise, but they're all witches. And every episode, so they're all witches who have actually decided to start a cruise ship because they need to be in international waters because they're all criminals, but they've decided not to use their witchy powers for good. But every episode, someone needs to be taught a lesson.
It's like the Witches of Eastwick
meets a
love
Disney boat.
Cruise. Yeah, meets a love boat. That'd be amazing. I want to see this happen now.
Doesn't that sound like a fun show?
Can we jump back to Mary? Getting to work with a director on such passionate projects and know that there's going to be a longevity to the work. How fulfilling is that as a writer, as a creative person, knowing that there's that connection? It's
amazing to work with Mary. So on Charlie Says, our most recent film, I wrote the script and she directed. In our other two, we'd co-written. And I really had access to the set and to the actors and to a lot of creative decisions. And that, writers don't often get that with directors.
Yeah.
You get to sit right there next to the director. She turn to me and say, what do you think? Or should we have another take? So it's great. So it's fabulous. And we have a fourth movie that we've written that we're going to make, I hope, soon.
Really?
Yes. Guess what? There's a serial killer in it.
No, that's cool. I love that. I thought it was just 3 films, but now it'll be a 4th.
Oh yeah, we're already ready for the next one. She's just busy doing Quibi. Do you know what Quibi is?
Yeah, I've heard of. Yeah, Quibi's big now.
Quibi's big.
Yeah.
I was like, Mary, you're so cutting edge, and she's like, am I? Is it going to work? And I said, well, right now, it's the list of directors who are doing it is so cool that it's definitely cool right now.
Well, Guinevere, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for coming to Austin Film Festival.
Thank you.
I know that they love the creative writer mind, so you're one of those. So thank you for coming and giving your voice.
Thank you. It's been awesome. I love this festival.
And thank you once again for Go Fish. I know it was a pleasure talking with Rose, but getting to kind of complete the circle for us is kind of cool.
Thanks.